Hi, I'm Stephanie, and welcome to Building Your Path to Success. Today I'm going to talk about letters of recommendations for both high school and college students. If you like this type of information, please remember to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, give me that thumbs up. I'm going to jump right into it, starting with high school students first. It's currently summer, it's nice out, and soon you will be back in school for the fall. You will need letters of recommendations. I suggest that all high school students who will be in the 12th grade get letters of recommendations, even if you're unsure about what it is you're interested in doing. I suggest that everyone get 3 to 4 letters of recommendations early on. Letters of recommendations are good for 1 year from the date that it was written, that's on the paper. A lot of schools use Naviance. You want to make sure that whoever is doing your letters of recommendations, you ask them, can you get a copy? Because they're in Naviance, and often the counselor or the principal will not share those letters with you. They will go out as a packet. How about that teacher or person who wrote that letter of recommendation hits the Powerball, moves, passes away? You want to have a copy of it if possible so that you can use for scholarships. A good general letter is often good enough for all your colleges and scholarships. I would say if you're applying specifically to like a military academy, you may have to have something a little different, but everyone's not doing that. The other thing is you want to have 3 to 4 letters. Your letters could be a variety of people. I suggest at least 2 from teachers. A letter could come if you play a sport, your coach can write one. Remember, we're talking about character. Do you come on time? Are you a team player? Are you a leader? These are things that can be talked about in that letter of recommendation. Or if you work, maybe it could come from your employer, your manager, supervisor, because you want them to talk about the characteristics or skills that you have within that employment. The other thing is, when you ask teachers, you want teachers who have taught you for at least a whole year. Or if you are on block rostering, at least an entire course. Because you cannot walk in 12th grade, get a teacher you've never seen before and ask them to write you a letter of recommendation. Everything I'm saying is in general. There are people that are moving, people are transient, they may have a teacher, they're in a new neighborhood, new school. Talk to your counselor because maybe they can work with you to get letters from teachers from a previous school. Some based on your major, sometimes certain colleges may want a letter from someone within your field. If you're going to be in STEM, you may need a letter from your math teacher or your science teacher. So these are things to also keep in mind. If you're going to be a senior in college and you're planning on going to graduate school, I would suggest that you get at least 2 or 3 recommendations. Now, one can be general. Maybe you volunteer at your school and you're doing something in an organization, or you do work study. That could be one. But you're probably going to need at least 2 from your professors. You should have at least 1 or 2 professors who are mentors to you within your field or concentration. Or maybe you have somebody if you have a minor, but you still need 2 people who are within your field who can talk to you about write letters of recommendations. Another thing I recommend for anyone getting a letter of recommendation, you should be able to give whoever's going to be the writer a copy of your resume. Yes, you're great and wonderful, but they may not know that you're maintaining these grades and you're working hard and always on time, but all the other things that you participate in. And don't expect teachers to automatically know this because they have a lot of students and they're writing a lot of letters. Now, I will say, if you are one of these students that I often get students who say, oh, can you write me a letter of recommendation, who has cussed me out in the hallway 2 or 3 times, rarely comes to school, cut in class, what can I possibly say? Some people are going to tell you no. Some people would say they will, but they don't say they're going to write you a good one. They say they'll write you a letter. And so that brings me to another point. Ask them if they can write you a good letter of recommendation. Be courteous. Give people enough time. This is why I'm bringing this up now. You want to ask your teachers, even if you have Naviance, don't just click on that you're going to ask so-and-so teacher, my math teacher, Mr. Smith, make sure that you ask Mr. Smith first. Mr. Smith, I will be applying to colleges for scholarships this year. This is my senior year. Would you be willing to write me a good letter of recommendation so that I can include your letter within my packet? I know you're going to upload it into Naviance or to whatever system you're using. Would you also be willing to give me a copy? 9 times out of 10, Mr. Smith is going to give you a copy. Upload that letter, especially if you ask right away. After you ask Mr. Smith, go back and send him a copy of the resume, thanking him for being willing to do this for you, and then also include them in on Naviance if you have a system such as that. This will make sure and remind professors or teachers, because they get inundated with a lot of stuff. In schools, the first quarter is quick, so report card grades go in, so you have to do this soon, especially if you are a good student. Good doesn't always mean a student, but a good student. So that's all I want to talk about today. I do mention letters of recommendations in previous videos, but this video I wanted to just talk specifically and only about letters of recommendations. Good luck to everyone. Please think of the teachers and professors that you can ask when you get back to school. Be a prepared senior. This will be your fastest school year.